Cody Rhodes' original insane WrestleMania plans revealed, the real reason Dijak left WWE, AEW returns possibly soon, and more. I'm Luke Owen and this is the WrestleTalk News.
Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe.
AEW X, formerly known as Twitter Forbidden Door, is this weekend, and it was announced after missing 2 of the last crossover pay-per-views, Hiromu Takahashi will finally be on a Forbidden Door show. AEW announced the bonkers match that AEW's The Lucha Bros and CMLL's Mystico will take on New Japan's LIJ of Takahashi, Titan, and Yota Tsuji. It's bonkers because this is also the first time the Lucha Bros will have been on the Forbidden Door card, as previously they were thought of as AAA guys, and this is a New Japan relationship who have a relationship with CMLL who do not have a good relationship with AAA, and it all gets political and messy. According to Lucha Blog, this match happening does not mean there is now a deal or relationship between AAA and CMLL, more just CMLL saying they believe the Lucha Bros are not AAA guys. But that's not why I'm here talking about this. Sure, this is a historic match. Sure, this is a fascinating match with all the political craziness. But the far more interesting thing is, Takahashi did an interview with NJPW USA Fan Club where he talked about his ballsack. I went to the urologist for the first time in my life because I found something uncomfortable in my testicles. I'm glad it was not anything serious. He said, I had very nice balls, but I guess it's what's inside that really counts, not what's on the outside. Words to live by. Wise man. Should we talk about wrestling then? Yesterday here at WrestleTalk HQ, we recorded some special WrestleTalk podcast episodes that will be going out next week, where we're going to look at the best wrestlers and matches of 2024... so far. We've never done middle of the year award shows like this before, so please do head on over to the WrestleTalk podcast channel and subscribe to know when they go live next week. Spoilers, Roman Reigns vs Cody Rhodes from WrestleMania 40 is on the list. A 2-year story that finally culminated in one of the best WrestleMania main events of all time on what could be argued as the best WrestleMania of all time. Remember when it nearly didn't happen? It's wild to think that, for a brief moment in time, WWE were not going to do Cody Rhodes vs Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, even though they'd booked Cody Rhodes to win the Royal Rumble and he pointed at Roman Reigns and said, I'm going to face you at WrestleMania. And instead, we're going to do The Rock vs Roman Reigns, where, if reports are to be believed, The Rock was pitching to win the WWE Championship. WWE were going to release a YouTube documentary shortly after Mania where all of this would have been detailed with interviews and behind-the-scenes clips, but that documentary didn't get released. Reports were that it needed more editing, but it is apparently being released next Wednesday. I'll believe it when I see it. And something that could be on that show is what Cody was supposed to do at Mania if he wasn't facing Roman. On the latest episode of Gorilla Position, James D'Lo revealed that he was told over Clash at the Castle weekend that someone working in WWE said that the changed plan for WrestleMania after The Rock came back was Roman vs Rock, Seth vs Punk, and Damian Priest vs Drew McIntyre. Most of this is known information, right? Then Punk got hurt and the plan switched to Cody going up to Seth for the World Heavyweight Championship, even though he'd stated he has no interest in winning that belt. But what if Punk didn't get injured? Well, according to James D'Lo, I was talking to someone on Clash weekend. They confirmed to me 100% the plan for WrestleMania, as wild as this sounds, was Cody not to be on the show. I wonder if D'Lo being told this is confirmation that this will be covered in that YouTube documentary next week. So yeah, the original plan by WWE was for Cody to not be on the show at all. Not in another match, not in another angle, just not on the show. It is crazy to think how differently our timeline would have been if the We Want Cody crowd weren't so loud online. So what would you have done with Cody Rhodes if you couldn't have him face Roman Reigns and CM Punk wasn't injured? Let me know in the comments down below, and don't listen to that nasty man named Phil. Fancy book to your heart's content. It's fun, Phil, have fun. And speaking of comments, we saw all of your requests to bring back Worst Match Ever, and we've done just that. And the first episode is live right now. If you missed it yesterday, here is a trailer for the episode where we watched a match that was once scored negative all the stars in the universe, and the universe is infinite. Welcome to Worst Match Ever. We're back.
Oh, this is filmed on in somebody's house, maybe in 1999.
Why is it still blurry?
Why are they licking all these kids?
Double close on.
Oh
my god. The baby was so slow getting in the ring.
We're doing a great job.
Off the ropes, it worked so well last time.
Oh my god. Every spot is just send him into the ropes, he'll come back and you'll just like bop him.
In the process, but he's recovered.
Oh, yeah, thank God he did.
I think for the first time in wrestling history, he tried to do a knee drop and an elbow drop at the same time.
Innovation.
Thank God the referee was.
1, 2, 3, whoa!
That referee wanted to get out of here. He was like, 1, 2, 3, that's it, that's it.
He was getting the call from the back. Finish, go to the finish, go to the finish. Yesterday, Dijak announced on Twitter that he was not having his contract renewed by WWE and would be a free agent. If you missed all the details of this Twitter post, we covered it in this breaking news video, and now Fightful Select have posted even more details about his leaving. Sean Ross Sapp spoke with Dijak directly in an interview that will be posted today, who said that he was told around 2 weeks ago that WWE would not be renewing his contract shortly after his speed match with Xavier Woods was taped. SRS writes he has theories that WWE had planned to let his deal wind down for a while, which is odd, as Corey Brennan of Fightful Select had previously reported that WWE and NXT officials really liked Dijak and had big plans for him. In that Twitter post, Dijak confirmed to Fightful Select report that he was planned to feud over the NXT Championship before he was called up to the main roster without notice. One of those officials was Shawn Michaels, who was a big supporter of Dijak's despite the two having minor disagreements about creative differences in the past. In the interview, Dijak reveals that Michaels called him personally to welcome him back to the NXT brand. Corey Brennan was told by talent in WWE that they were surprised Dijak was not being used on Raw after being called up, and Dijak himself said he could tell something was afoot when he wasn't included in the plans for Raw the first couple of weeks after the draft. In fact, after being called up, not only were there no plans for him, he sometimes wasn't even brought in for tapings. For the tapings he did attend, he was shifted between main event and speed, but there were never any plans for him to appear on Monday Night Raw. So why call him up then? Fightful Select report the negotiations started well between the two parties when it came to signing a new deal for Dijak to stay, but then WWE went quiet. Until they didn't go quiet, which is when they contacted him to let him know they weren't renewing his contract. Sean Ross Sapp writes, those we spoke to were shocked by the fact WWE did not attempt to negotiate with Dijak, with one former WWE talent noting that 20 years ago, Dijak would have had a job till his legs fell off. So, what's next for Dijak? Well, he's already done a Twitch stream with Mason Mansour, which is very, very funny, and he's announced on Twitter that he's doing cameos for half price as WWE won't be taking half of his cut anymore. Both Sean Ross Sapp and Corey Brennan are reporting that there is a lot of interest from companies to bring Dijak in now that his contract has officially ended. Brennan reports that European promotions have interest, and Sean Ross Sapp reports major companies have been in contact with Dijak's management to gauge things. One of those major companies could be All Elite Wrestling, which is also rumored to be the landing destination for Ricochet, who opted not to re-sign with WWE. And while AEW has brought in a lot of new faces since the start of the year, Kazuchika Okada, Mercedes Moné, Will Ospreay, there's still a few names waiting to come back from their injuries. Two of those names include former Women's World Champions Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. Britt last had a match in AEW in September of last year, and there's been no word on when we can expect to see her back. However, during the media calls to promote this weekend's Forbidden Door, Tony Khan didn't give much more details on that return, other than saying it will be very soon. Even less clear is Jamie Hayter, who hasn't been on TV since her injury over a year ago. Previously, Khan had said that Hayter will be back in time for All In Wembley, but was far more cagey on the media call. He said that Hayter's timetable is still pending, and that they will have her back working in AEW anytime and whenever she's healthy and capable of doing it. What would you have them both do when they make their returns? Do let me know in the comments down below. Last week was not a great week when it came to AEW's television ratings, drawing their lowest total viewership and 18-49 demo. As we covered in yesterday's WrestleTalk news, Warner Bros. Discovery were not worried about this rating, which must have been good news for All Elite Wrestling because they're currently negotiating with that network for a new television deal. Warner were also confident about this week's rating, as AEW would have a better lead-in show. Lead-ins have, historically across all wrestling broadcasts, been an important factor in getting a good rating, as the more eyes that watch the previous show might stick around for the next show. And they were right to be confident, as like Alan Partridge in Series 2 of I'm Alan Partridge, AEW have bounced back. This week's Dynamite drew 680,000 viewers, up 35% from the previous week. This is in line with what they were doing the week before the disaster number, which shows that it was just an anomaly and not a downward trend. The 18 to 49 demo was also up to a 0.22. While this is better than last week, it is still the third lowest number of the year, facing competition from the first night of the NBA draft. Perhaps more worryingly is that 0.22 in the demo is the second lowest the show has ever done on a Wednesday night, only beating last week's record low of a 0.16. So it's both good news and bad news. As Paul Fontaine writes for F4W Online, this week's show was down 2.9% in overall viewers and down 8.3% in the 18 to 49 as compared to the recent averages. Now go and watch the first episode of Worst Match Ever.